Welcome to the Online Bachelor Info Week of Università della Svizzera Italiana. Today we present the Bachelor in Informatics, and I'm very glad to have here with me Professor Laura Pozzi, the program's director. In a moment, she will guide you through the characteristics of the program and the study plan. Her presentation will be in English. But before that, let's dive into the overview of the university and some practical information. This very short presentation of mine will be in Italian, but on-screen slides will be available in English. Last but not least, don't forget to share your comments, doubts and questions through the live chat that you find at the bottom of the page. We'll be happy to open a discussion straight after the presentation. Feel free to share questions either in English or in Italian. L'Università della Svizzera Italiana ha iniziato i suoi corsi nel 1996, poco più di 300 studenti nelle 3 facoltà di architettura, economia e comunicazione. Nel corso degli anni ci sono state parecchie tappe importanti, tra queste sicuramente il 2001 come anno di adozione dell'ordinamento di Bologna, che ci permette tutt'oggi di rilasciare dei titoli di studio che siano riconosciuti a livello europeo. Nel 2004 è stata fondata la Facoltà di Scienze Informatiche, all'interno della quale si colloca il Bachelor che qui presentiamo quest'oggi. Nel corso degli anni, in particolar modo nel 2015, abbiamo poi istituito la 5ª facoltà, quella di Scienze Biomediche, e quest'anno festeggiamo i nostri primi 25 anni di attività. Chi siamo quindi oggi? Siamo una realtà che conta 5 facoltà, all'interno delle quali si offrono 6 bachelor, lauree triennali, 24 master, lauree magistrali, prevalentemente insegnate in lingua inglese, e abbiamo poi un numero di scuole dottorali, programmi executive master, istituti e laboratori. Il tutto si svolge nei 3 campus di Lugano, dal quale vi parliamo quest'oggi, Mendrisio e Bellinzona. Chi siamo in termini di numeri di studenti? Siamo più di 3.000, quindi potete capire che rispetto al 1996 siamo cresciuti notevolmente. La fetta principale chiaramente è costituita dagli studenti di bachelor e di master. Abbiamo poi gli studenti dottorali, quindi che si occupano della ricerca e che intraprenderanno un domani una carriera accademica o professionale, e gli professionisti che si dedicano a un executive master e che quindi desiderano approfondire la loro carriera e la loro formazione acquisendo un nuovo titolo di studio. Abbiamo poi un numero di professori di ruolo, assistenti, docenti e ricercatori che ci porta a dire che attualmente la ratio, quindi la proporzione tra professori e studenti, è pari a 1:8. Questo significa che noi possiamo davvero permetterci di dire che per ogni gruppo di 8 studenti o studentesse potremmo affiancare un professore. In tal modo quindi l'esperienza non è più solo un'esperienza di studio, ma un'esperienza formativa a tutto tondo. Gli studenti hanno la possibilità di incontrare il professore subito dopo la lezione per chiarire i loro dubbi, possono molto spesso condividere anche il tavolo della mensa per la pausa pranzo. Veniamo quindi a quelli che possono essere i motivi validi per poter scegliere di studiare in Svizzera, in particolar modo all'Università della Svizzera Italiana. Questi sono alcuni, se vorrete poi li potremo approfondire in sede di Q&A, ma ci teniamo a farvi presente quanto la nostra sia un'università, oltre che di piccole dimensioni, nelle quali appunto il rapporto docenti-studenti è fondamentale per la crescita dello studente, ma abbiamo anche un ambiente estremamente internazionale. La professoressa Pozzi eventualmente poi potrà raccontare di quello che avviene quotidianamente nelle classi dei bachelor e dei master della Facoltà di Scienze Informatiche. Abbiamo poi alcune informazioni pratiche che dobbiamo in questo momento guardare e discutere insieme, poiché sono di fondamentale importanza. In particolar modo i requisiti di ammissione. Non tutti i titoli, che siano questi svizzeri o stranieri, effettivamente possono essere ammissibili alla formazione, per cui è importante per voi verificare attraverso il sito web che il vostro titolo di studio figuri nella lista pubblicata online e facente parte del sistema di Swiss Universities. Se il vostro titolo di studio effettivamente rientra in questa lista, allora potrete inoltrare una candidatura. Lo potrete fare online rispettando la tempistica del 31 luglio o del 30 aprile per studenti che necessitano di un visto. La tassa è di 4.000 franchi, la tassa è fissa, non va a fasce di reddito. Ci sono alcune riduzioni, in particolar modo per studenti con domicilio legale in Svizzera al momento della maturità. La tassa semestrale non è di 4.000 franchi, ma è di 2.000 franchi. Ci sono poi riduzioni per quanto riguarda gli studenti svizzeri residenti all'estero. La possibilità di fare richiesta al decanato per una riduzione è sempre aperta. La valutazione avviene dopo l'ammissione. In aiuto e supporto di tutti gli studenti e studentesse ci sono poi diverse borse di studio. In particolar modo l'USI promuove una borsa di studio per gli studenti con un diploma ottenuto in Svizzera francese o tedesca. In tal modo possiamo così promuovere il plurilinguismo all'interno delle nostre facoltà e dei nostri campus. C'è poi una borsa di studio sempre dell'USI che copre l'intero primo anno e che può essere rinnovata per il secondo o per il terzo anno e che viene erogata su base di merito e sulle condizioni economiche e familiari della famiglia. Infine ci sono diverse borse di studio erogate da enti pubblici e fondazioni private. Sul sito troverete la lista con tutte le informazioni utili. I bandi verranno aggiornati nel corso della primavera 2021. Il servizio orientamento e promozione, e quindi io e i colleghi, siamo sempre a completa disposizione per rispondere a tutte le vostre domande e curiosità. Potrete contattarci via email, concordando poi un appuntamento virtuale one-to-one nell'attesa di potervi accogliere sul campus, oppure telefonicamente. Lascio quindi ora la parola alla professoressa Pozzi che vi illustrerà nel dettaglio tutto il percorso di studi.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, I'm Laura Pozzi. I am the Bachelor Director of the Faculty of Informatics at USI. So I'm here today to tell you about what it is to study informatics with us. At first, I will tell you a bit about informatics, and then I'll tell you a bit about informatics at USI in particular. So one thing that is very important about informatics is that it is very versatile. It is like a Swiss knife in this respect. Why do I say this? It's because when you study informatics, then you can work in many different areas. You learn some skills that are in high need in so many different companies. So obviously, there are those companies that work in computer science, such as Google, Sony, Apple. I'm writing these here because we have students that study, that after our bachelor got a job in every one of these companies. But you can also work in different kind of companies, for example, banks or even bioinformatics company, because again, informatics is needed in so many areas. And another reason why informatics is versatile is because you can work everywhere in the world, especially if you learn English, which we will see it's something that you learn with us. Then the whole of the world is open to you, and there are actually more open jobs in informatics than people who actually have the skills to take them. So that's a good news for you who want to study informatics, because the job market is actually enormous. Another characteristic of informatics is that it's very creative. So what we do is creative from beginning to end every day of our work life. What we do is we solve problems. So we start from a problem in order to find a solution to it. And we follow several steps to go from problem to solution. So at first, we need to encode that problem using the language of mathematics. And in fact, mathematics is very important for becoming a computer scientist. So once we have formalized the problem, then we have to think of a way to solve the problem using methods which in informatics are called algorithms. And once we choose an algorithm to solve the problem, then we program it. So this is a fun step in computer science where we choose a language and we encode a program in a programming language of choice in order to solve the problem at hand. So once we go and run the program, then we find a solution. Usually this is an iterative process because not necessarily your program works at first, and so you go back and maybe you change the encoding of the problem or the encoding of your program, etc., in order to find the correct solution. So every one of these steps is incredibly creative. You can be creative in encoding the problem. You can use different formalizations. You can use different algorithms. You can use different programs. And even choosing the problem is a very creative process. If you think about it, decades ago, not very many decades ago, we could never have thought that we could have written a text in internet and search and find millions of pages in fractions of seconds, or find the shortest path between any two cities in the world, or even decoding the whole of the human genome. So solving all of these problems required skills of computer scientists, and not only. And there are millions of other problems ready there to be solved eventually by you. So what is it to study informatics at USI? First of all, I'll tell you what it is not. It is not these big rooms where students don't really understand what's going on because it's too hard to hear. What we have at USI is small classes, and therefore we have a small student to professor ratio, or as Anna said, a high professor to student ratio. And this means that there is more interaction between professors and teaching assistants and students. And another characteristic of studying informatics at USI is the concept of the atelier. The atelier is a particular course that students follow in the afternoon and where we put into practice what was learned in the theoretical courses in the morning. There, we divide students into teams and we believe in project-based learning. So we believe that both pillars of theory and practice are very important to become good computer scientists, and therefore we teach you both. And in particular, in the practice part, through projects in teams, you learn how to exploit what you have learned in theory. So we have an excellent balance between theory and practice, and we will see this also through the presentation of the curriculum itself. So what about our teaching style? Because we have small classes, we can actually implement things that universities with large classes could not implement. So in particular, we give you assignments, midterm exams, so that the whole of your performance in a course is not decided just all at the end of the semester, but you have continuous feedback during the semester in order to see how you're doing, to verify if you're actually understanding or not. And so you know that if you didn't understand some concepts, you should go back and study it way before you get to the final exam. So we give you weekly, bi-weekly assignments, and we correct them, and we give you grades. So you will have to study hard and put a lot of effort into this, but then you have, it's kind of a journey that we do together because, again, we give you a lot of feedback during the semester itself as you study and as you progress. And also, these small classes enable projects and continuous interaction between instructors and students, as I said. So an interesting thing is that even though we are a computer science faculty, we don't have a computer lab. We don't go in groups into a computer lab, but we give each student a laptop at the beginning of the bachelor. This is included in the fee, and it remains with you during your whole bachelor. This ensures that you all have the same computer, the same operating system, the same hardware, so that the teaching goes very smoothly. And of course, you take it home at the end of every day, and you take it back to school when you have lessons. And also, you develop your projects in there. Another very important characteristic is that we use English as our teaching language, and this is why my presentation is in English now, and every single lecture that you will receive from us will be in English. There are many universities who are trying to get there. They're starting to teach in English at the master's level. What we do at USI Informatics from the very beginning is that we teach in English from day one, from the bachelor. This is really a gift to you because learning English is one of the most important things about becoming a good computer scientist. English is the language of computer science, and there is no other. Also, you will be studying on textbook in English. You will be discussing with your teammates in English. So it's time to tell you a bit about our curriculum and about what you will study if you come to do your bachelor with us. So bachelor lasts 3 years, and we have 2 semesters per year. So we have 6 semesters in total. You can see the first semester in the bottom, the last in the top. So here are the names of all of the courses that you will study. And let me tell you a bit the principal characteristics of this curriculum. So first of all, we have 2 pillars here that I'm highlighting, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is programming. So we teach you programming fundamentals from semester 1 and then onwards in the following semesters. And there you start learning what it means to program. You will start with simpler computer languages, and then we will teach you more and more skills that you need in order to program, more advanced, for example, object-oriented and new languages. On the right, we have the pillar of the atelier that I mentioned earlier. So every semester, you will have a software atelier. This is done in the afternoon, and there you put into practice what you have learned in the morning in the other courses. There is also where you do your project learning and team projects with your peers. So again, at first you start with fundamentals, and then we have different ateliers like human-computer interaction, programming the web, software engineering, etc. So besides this, then there is the very important pillar of theory. Again, both theory and practice are fundamental to become good computer scientists. And mathematics and logical skills are very important. So we start with calculus, linear algebra. We go into discrete math, so you will learn discrete structure, and then algorithms and data structures. There is number 1 and also number 2 later on. Algorithms are fundamental. They are like the bricks that you have to put together to solve problems. We also teach you the theory of computation, and there you will learn the fundamental capabilities and limitations of computers. We also have, in the 5th semester, an atelier which is called the field project. So we put you in the field, and we find companies for you around the area of Lugano. And one day per week, you go to these companies, and you develop these projects in a company. So there we give you an idea of what it is to apply the skills that you have learned with us out in the field. What you have also in the 6th semester, so the last semester, is what is called the bachelor project. And there you have an idea what you liked most in this journey that you have followed during the bachelor. And therefore, you go to the subject that you liked most or the professor that you liked most, and you choose a particular project that you will work on your own extensively. At the end of it, you also write a mini thesis for this, and that is towards the end of your bachelor. Once you have done all of the credits for these 6 semesters, then you get your diploma. One interesting thing is also that in the 5th and 6th semester, we give you some choice. So at that point, again, you might have a better idea of what you like most, if you prefer mathematical courses or more practical courses, and we give you some flexibility there. Another interesting course that we teach is called Programming Challenges course. This is also an elective, so you don't have to do it, but it is offered to you in case you're interested. And we do this course to prepare you for the ACM Collegial Programming Contest. So we form a team to compete, and we send this team to the Southwestern Europe contest. This is where Switzerland is. I think this is data from the last couple of years where the contest was in Barcelona. We sent this team of 3 students of ours, the ones that performed the best in this course, to Barcelona to compete with other students from other universities all over Southwestern Europe. And actually, we did extremely well, or our team did extremely well, because it was placed 5th out of 75 teams, and this was the cream of all students of all universities. So let me zoom in a little bit to see what these contests are about. There are challenges. In this case, we have from A to K. And the team that solves the most number of challenges, of course, wins. Again, if we zoom out a little bit so that you can see maybe other names of other universities that were there, we were 5th out of all of these list of 75 universities in Western Europe, where you can see some Swiss names and also some Italian names like Politecnico and other European names. So again, we were very proud of that team, and every year we try to form a team and to compete again and to give you the possibility to go and compete yourself. So there are, beyond the curriculum in our courses, I just wanted to give you a taste of other activities that we organize. So for example, the United Nations has instituted an International Day of Women and Girls in Science. This is in February every year. And we decided to celebrate that. How do we do it? We invite all women and girls in the Faculty of Informatics to spend a day together. So all bachelor students, master students, PhD students, postdocs, professors, we all get together, and we have lunch. We take this nice picture as you see here, And we exchange ideas, and again, we celebrate this important time. So this is one other possibility of interact with professors, even beyond the courses themselves. Another interesting activity is that USI organizes hackathon, and this is another contest which is done in cooperation with the city of Lugano, where our students can compete if they choose. The city of Lugano provides data, and the students analyze it and compete. This is a photo of the team that won last year, and they also won, as you can see, a very interesting prize. We also have end-of-semester presentations. So at the end of the semester, when you've done your atelier and you've done your team projects, then we give you a possibility to present your projects to us. So that's a very interesting time when we kind of celebrate the end of the semester and celebrate all that you have learned during that semester. And instead of us, professor, talking to you students, you talk to us and you tell us what you learned. So it's a celebratory occasion that is very nice. Now, last activity that I want to tell you about is what we call a Europe internship. This is done during the summer. So during the summer, you can rest. We don't have courses and we don't have exams. So while you study really hard during the semesters, then during the summer, it's rest time for you. On the other hand, we give you the opportunity, if you want to work also for 2 further months, we give you the opportunity to join one of our research groups and do a project that is related to research. So you get a taste of what it means to do research after your bachelor and your master and become, for example, a PhD student. And this internship is paid. So last, I wanted to give you some comments from our students. So a couple of months ago, I wrote to them, these are students that finished their bachelors and are either working or studying in their masters. And I asked them what was their experience with USI Informatics. So I copy here a few sentences that you can see for yourself. But one thing that they say is that they liked it because students have direct communication with the professors, and also another one said, you're not just a number. So this relates to the fact that, again, there is a lot of interaction because the ratio is rather small between students and professors. Also, someone was saying professors and teaching assistants were kind and available to help. This was very useful since when you get stuck writing some code, even a small hint can lead you in the right direction. So again, it's nice to interact, it's useful to interact, and actually I would urge you to interact as much as you can with us when you start studying with us, because this can save many hours of work, this can enrich your learning experience. The next comment was that at USI Informatics, you collaborate with your classmates instead of competing. I think this is interesting, and probably it is the consequence of 2 things. One is that we make you work a lot in pairs or in groups, and you learn to interact with your mates. But also the fact, I think, that the job market is so large makes the learning process more fun. It's not like you have to compete with the person who graduates with you, because again, the availability of jobs is so high. Now the comment is, I met people from many different cultures. This helped me learn more about the world and further develop my soft skills. Super important in this day and age to have interactions with cultures different than our own. And we give you this opportunity, obviously, by teaching in English. This means that you will meet people from many different cultures. So on top of building a solid theoretical background, students are required to apply themselves onto many practical projects where they learn how to work in teams and get the job done. This is also a comment about this union between theory and practice that is so useful. So another student was commenting, I found brilliant that every student received a brand new laptop, and this can save much time because in both teaching and learning processes, you don't have to lose time installing things that don't work, etc. What I mean is we all start from the same computer and we go on from there. Another student, and I'm almost done, was saying, I felt really prepared after finishing the bachelor. We not only learned computer science concepts, but also how to work in teams, how to present, and how to further learn by ourselves. This is very important because we teach you to learn. Obviously, you will not learn everything in these 3 years or 5 years if you do a master after that. You will learn the fundamentals concepts. But what's important is that you learn how to study further and enrich your knowledge further. These were all required skills in the job positions I filled, the student says. And last but not least, I really appreciated the teaching mode where we could work on weekly assignments and semester projects. Not only we enhanced our teamwork skills, but also learned new concepts by discussing them with our colleagues. And this is very interesting, the fact that as you can interact a lot, not only with us professors, but among you students, makes the learning more fun and also more effective. Because as you know, or I think you know already, it's so nice to discuss what you learned with your peers and maybe talk about your doubts. Maybe you didn't understand something, but your peer did, and vice versa. And this enriches the learning experience beyond just reading the textbook on one's own. So this is all from me, and I would like to urge you to contact me in case you have any questions. You can write me an email at laurapozzi@usi.ch, and I'll be very happy to answer any doubts that you might have. It might relate to what I have presented today or to anything else, any other doubts that you might have. Thank you very much. And now we'll have a session where we answer questions live.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Professor Pozzi, for this in-depth presentation. So let's start with the first question from Shrey. It is an Italian a question in Italian, so let's switch to the language. Si viene ammessi dopo un test di ingresso o è ad accesso libero?
Al momento non abbiamo test di ingresso. Per ora abbiamo potuto ammettere le persone che si sono iscritte e che ovviamente avevano i requirements per iscriversi. Non so se in futuro dovremo aggiungere un test ingresso, ma al momento non ce l'abbiamo.
Grazie. Then we have a question from Filippo. Can we bring our computer or must we use the one the school provides us with?
You don't have to use the computer we give you. I've never seen students who didn't use it, I have to say. And maybe you complement your own computer with this other one that we give you. But no, you're not forced to. So as long as you do the work right and you prefer a different operating system from the one we give you, but you do the work right, it's okay for us.
Grazie. John ci chiede una delucidazione sul field project, o meglio se sia più simile a uno stage o a un lavoro di gruppo, quindi magari se possiamo dare qualche dettaglio in più.
Sì, direi più simile a uno stage, nel senso che appunto il lavoro di gruppo lo fai già tantissimo nei nostri corsi, come già ho detto. Invece nel field project tipicamente il placement è individuale, quindi lavorerai a un tuo progetto. Anche se mi sembra proprio che alcuni stage fossero anche a coppie, per esempio, però in generale sono individuali, direi.
Grazie. Charlene ci chiede invece, ha una preoccupazione. Non ho mai fatto informatica a scuola, ma sono molto appassionata. Avrò molte difficoltà?
Ok, sì, è una cosa che non ho nominato, ma avrei dovuto, e grazie per avermelo chiesto. Noi partiamo da zero con l'informatica, quindi anche chi non l'ha mai studiata a scuola può imparare da noi e può passare il bachelor. Di nuovo, ovviamente bisogna applicarsi tantissimo e forse chi l'ha già fatto prima lo troverà un po' più facile, però di nuovo, se tu hai interesse e capacità per la matematica, per la logica, imparerai da zero con noi come programmare.
So Filippo comes with a question which is quite similar. Can I get any help if I've never did programming before, like something extra I can do before the beginning of the bachelor or maybe during the bachelor itself?
Okay, so during the bachelor, I would say no, you will be completely busy with our courses, so there isn't really time to do extra things beyond the courses. On the other hand, if you do want to prepare yourself for our bachelor during the summer, for example, you would like to know what kind of course could I follow, what kind of book should I read, then we can definitely do that. We don't have anything in place, but what I would suggest is that you write me an email and I can point you to the relevant professor so that we can tell you what you should study. I think it's a good idea because you have a long summer after your maturità and before you come to us, so it's a good idea to prepare yourself if you feel that it would help you.
Thank you very much. Domenico chiede se in generale sussista l'obbligo di frequenza per i corsi e se eventualmente ci siano già delle idee in merito all'anno accademico 2021-22, quindi se questo sarà online o eventualmente se sarà possibile frequentare esclusivamente online, anche qualora i corsi dovessero essere magari in presenza.
Ok, allora ti rispondo in due stage. Dunque, nel primo, i corsi, la presenza è obbligatoria o no? Da noi la presenza non è obbligatoria, nel senso che non scriviamo la lista degli studenti che sono presenti e non diamo un voto esplicitamente a questo. D'altro canto, in pratica lo è, nel senso che passare un esame senza venire in classe è molto molto più difficile. Non venire in classe vuol dire non usare l'opportunità di ascoltarci e di sentire quello che noi vogliamo che voi sappiate alla fine del corso. Quindi la presenza non è formalmente obbligatoria, in pratica però è, direi, essenziale. Ora, dal punto di vista di Covid, non sappiamo ancora a settembre. Speriamo che le cose siano migliorate e che possiamo direttamente iniziare in presenza, come che abbiamo fatto in settembre 2020. Purtroppo poi abbiamo dovuto ritornare online. Speriamo di poter iniziare in presenza a settembre 2021 e continuare online. Non diamo la possibilità di studiare completamente online quando le lezioni sono in presenza. Quindi in questo strano anno abbiamo avuto un insegnamento ibrido in cui sia vi accoglievamo in classe finché si poteva, sia davamo la lezione in streaming e sia la registravamo. Questo era per venirvi incontro nel caso doveste c'erano problemi di quarantena che voi ben conoscete, un sacco di problemi dovuti a Covid. Una volta che Covid se ne andrà, speriamo presto, si tornerà in presenza e rimarrà il suggerimento, l'importante suggerimento di venire in classe ed essere presenti qui a Lugano.
Grazie. Un'altra curiosità riguarda gli atelier. Viene chiesto se questi siano sempre obbligatori o se si possa scegliere quali fare.
Sono obbligatori, sì. Gli esami electives o i corsi electives si svolgono nel quinto e nel sesto semestre, quindi nel terzo anno. Il primo e il secondo anno non hanno flessibilità di scelta, quindi ogni corso che vi proponiamo fa parte del vostro curriculum e farà parte del vostro transcript una volta che avrete passato.
So Matteo says, I'm assuming examinations are now in some sort of online form. How are they handled right now?
So right now examinations are online. We cannot have you here in presence, and therefore we are forced to do examinations online. So some courses are done with an online oral exam and some with an online written exam.
Grazie. Allora, Shrey invece ci chiede informazioni per quanto riguarda l'alloggio. Magari Per questa domanda posso rispondere io direttamente. Dunque, noi abbiamo un piccolo campus, una piccola residenza che si chiama USI Home, che però non ha la capacità tale per cui riusciamo ad accogliere tutti gli studenti fuori sede, ma abbiamo un ottimo servizio alloggi che supporta tutti gli studenti nella ricerca di un alloggio, che questo sia una stanza in un appartamento insieme ad altri studenti o che sia un monolocale. C'è peraltro una pagina Facebook ufficiale che si chiama proprio USI Servizio Alloggi, dove tutti gli annunci, tutti i post sono verificati, quindi anche voi nel caso in cui doveste iscrivervi potrete poi pubblicare un post magari nel quale direte: ciao a tutti, inizio a settembre e sto cercando una stanza, un appartamento. In tal senso si riesce sempre a trovare con facilità, anche perché Lugano non è una città così grande, così dispersiva, quindi molto spesso si riesce anche a trovare, muovendosi chiaramente con almeno un paio di mesi di anticipo rispetto all'inizio dei corsi, si riesce magari a trovare un alloggio che sia appunto nelle vicinanze del campus. Riceverete poi tutte le informazioni a seguire dell'evento e sicuramente avrete anche la menzione specifica sul servizio alloggi, quindi avrete poi il link dove troverete poi tutte le informazioni utili. Allora, ci viene chiesto da Saverio se sia necessario consegnare un certificato ufficiale di lingua inglese per poter essere ammessi al bachelor.
Non mi ricordo se... Sì, direi di sì. Allora, questa è una domanda a cui di solito dico dovete chiedere alle segretarie. Non abbiamo qui con noi le segretarie.
Forse posso essere d'aiuto,
forse tu lo sai, ecco.
Allora, non è obbligatorio un certificato di lingua inglese. Tendenzialmente si auspica che il livello conseguito, diciamo, nel corso del liceo o comunque della scuola superiore sia tale da permettervi di entrare, insomma, in classe i primi tempi, riuscire ad interfacciarvi con gli altri studenti, con i professori. Però non viene richiesto un certificato, chiaramente anche per una vostra sicurezza, se lo avrete potrete presentarlo in fase di iscrizione e chiaramente verrà poi considerato e verrà accettato, però ecco, l'ammissione non è, diciamo, vincolata dalla presenza o meno di un certificato di lingua, però ecco, può essere utile, quindi non vi incoraggio, se durante l'estate vorrete seguire un corso di lingua, assolutamente poi a sostenere eventualmente l'esame. Vi tornerà sicuramente utile qualora anche magari voleste poi in futuro fare uno scambio durante il periodo di studio, allora lì tipicamente il certificato di lingua viene richiesto. Sempre in merito all'ammissione, we have a question in which someone says, when will be notified whether we are accepted to the program or not? Applications are open right now. The Dean's Office will send out answers and admission letters starting on March 2021. So you have to be patient. If you have submitted an application, then you just have to wait for a couple of months now. Otherwise, if you submit an application from March onwards, you have to consider 2 or 3 weeks on average to get a reply from the Dean's Office. So no worries if you haven't received anything yet, you will receive it in the next few weeks. Allora, Domenico chiede che linguaggi di programmazione si studino.
Allora, incominciamo con Scheme e poi andiamo a imparare Java e poi C. Anche un po' di Python si fa all'interno di alcuni dei corsi e direi che ci fermiamo qui. Ovviamente non possiamo insegnarvi tutti i linguaggi di programmazione, ma anche non sarebbe utile, nel senso l'importante è imparare i concetti fondamentali e poi sarà molto semplice per voi, una volta che avete imparato questi linguaggi di cui vi parlo, passare da un linguaggio all'altro.
Grazie. Shrey, ricollegandosi a una sua prima domanda, penso fosse legata all'ammissione, ci chiede se il voto di maturità condizioni o meno l'accettazione dell'iscrizione.
No, di nuovo, non avendo un test per entrare, al momento anche il vostro voto di maturità al momento per ora non è vincolante, quindi l'importante è che voi abbiate il certificato, insomma il degree relevant, dopodiché il voto non conta. Ci sono invece delle borse di studio che si possono ottenere quando si ha un voto molto alto, allora lì conta, però non per l'accettazione.
Giorgio asks, what's the minimum level of math to have?
Allora, chi viene per esempio dal liceo scientifico ha un livello perfetto, chi non ha fatto tanto quanto il liceo scientifico, insomma, so che in altri licei si fa meno matematica. Anche qui forse se mi potete scrivere un'email vi dico con più precisione da che punto partiamo nell'esame per esempio di Calculus, che è il primo corso di matematica del primo semestre. Quindi se non mi dispiace, se mi scrivete un'email vi spiego in più dettaglio. In generale i vari licei sono abbastanza, però magari mi potete chiedere in particolare, data la superiore, l'istituto superiore in cui avete studiato, possiamo guardare precisamente se manca qualcosa o no, e se sì vi posso anche puntare ai libri dove studiare quello che manca.
Davide, do you accept all applications meeting the admission requirements? Maybe we could, I mean, I don't know if you want to answer the question, but maybe we could wrap up just saying again which are the admission requirements, the application deadlines, and you know, if there's any waiting list. There's no test, but is there maybe like a waiting list around, I don't know, May or June or something like that?
So, do you want Anna to go through this list?
As you wish, as you prefer.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the admission requirements are listed on the website. Not all the Swiss or foreign diplomas are actually accepted or eligible for admission. So you have to make sure that your high school diploma, whether it is a Swiss one, Italian one, or French one, is compliant with the Swiss university's requirements. Then, if so, you can submit the application. Applications are open right now, and the deadline, if you are Swiss or European, if you don't need a visa, which is the general case for European candidates, it will be the end of July this year. Otherwise, if you need a visa, I don't know, I see that you have an Italian name, but I'm not sure you are European by nationality, so in case you need a visa, then the application deadline is the end of April, so 30th of April. We usually accept application until that point, and then we may open a waiting list after the official deadline in case the application number exceed the places available. But usually, I mean, feel free to submit the application. Of course, the sooner the better for you. But yeah, no test, no minimum grade required. You just have to meet the admission requirements that are listed on the website, and that's all. So for the moment, I don't see any other question coming. So unless, I don't know, Professor Pozzi, do you want to add something maybe to wrap up the session?
Well, I think I gave you quite a lot of information. I would urge you again to contact me or any other professor in the faculty. You can find emails on the web, but of course you could start from me as the Bachelor Director. I'd be very happy if you had any further questions to answer you and to welcome you all here, I hope, next September.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you all for joining us today, and we hopefully will see you in September on campus. Grazie a tutti e arrivederci.